Welcome back. This video will explain how to print and send a variety of documents within the HearForm Pro Scheduler. HearForm Pro Scheduler offers a number of ways to print and email information to either a patient or to perhaps an administrator. I'm going to click on the appointment right here at the bottom, and up pops my appointment detail window. We've already talked about some of the other parts of this, but I'm going to click the Print and Send button, which brings up additional options. So most of these are self-explanatory, but if I want to print an appointment letter with the instructions on the date and time and that sort of thing, I can click that button there, and it tells me off to the right who is going to receive that letter, who it's going to be addressed to. So try that and see if that works for you. You can also email the appointment reminder, and it tells you off to the right again the email address assigned to that patient for this particular appointment. We can also text an appointment letter to the cell phone, which is listed off to the right, as well as their carrier. You do definitely need to have a carrier, meaning the patient does need to know whether they're working with Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, or some other carrier in order for them to be able to receive a text using this method. Now, we do have two buttons right here that currently are not working, and that's because when we created this, we had the ability to email or text and for that matter, print a letter with directions. But Google just in the last few weeks has changed some of their code, and that process is no longer working. So developers all over the country are scrambling to find an alternative. We will get an alternative, and then that will be working in the future. But for right now, we're going to leave those buttons there so it'll be easier to reconnect that. And finally, we can print a super bill for the patient simply by clicking that button, and it'll print the desired super bill A, B, C, or D. I'm going to close that window there, close this, and show you another way that we can print information. I can come up to the menu here where it says print options, and I can either print today's, tomorrow's, this week's, or next week's appointments, or I can turn them into a PDF and store that right on my desktop. Or what I'll show you is I can email today's, tomorrow's, this week's, or next week's appointments. Perhaps, for example, if you want to send that to an administrator who wants to take a look. So the document that's printed out is not in a calendar format, but rather a list format. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what I mean. It's going to take a moment, and then it'll pull up and send it to whichever administrator email address that you'd like. We'll go ahead and open that up and take a look. So we can see in this case it lists the day first, then the clinician underneath that, and then chronologically his or her appointments. So we see first Virginia's, then Duncan's, then Elizabeth's, etc. And then finally we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, etc. So that document, again, doesn't look like a traditional calendar, but it might provide value. It will stretch to accommodate additional comments and things like that, and it does include a fair amount of information that might make it easier for you to see what your next week is going to be like, or this week, etc. So those are some ways that you can print out information, but be sure to do this ahead of time. You can set up the email recipient if you don't want to have to put that in every time. Again, for example, an administrator, business owner, just put his or her email address there and it'll automatically go to that administrator. I didn't show you this one, but you can also email this and next month's appointments, and you may wonder why you want to do that. Just in case there's a power failure or something terrible happens, your computers are stolen, and you want to be able to have a month's appointments ahead of time available on your phone or something like that, then periodically you may just want to email this and next month's appointments to yourself or to someone else. So thank you very much for watching this segment, and we look forward to showing you some additional information in further videos.